Juan Carlos, I am in the interior of a 2016 S550, and I'm going to kind of give you a quick walkthrough of buttons and operational functions that you'll see when you receive your vehicle tomorrow. All right, so I'm going to start left to right. So we're going to start with the door, the driver's side door. As you can see on the armrest there, you have your window adjustments, your mirror adjustments. You have door locks that are hidden in the cubby hole there. You have a trunk release down at the bottom. And then you have your primary seat adjustments that are also on the door that include ventilated and heated seats. You have memory seating here, and this button right here, if I select this, I then can control the passenger side seat adjustments with the adjustments on the door. Okay? To memorize seating, you will press and hold M. Okay? And then while pressing and hold it, you will select and hold a number. The faint beep that you may have heard will then memorize the seat. Okay? Underneath your left vent will include primary safety feature buttons that turn items on and off depending on what options you have on the car. Your vehicle does have the driver assistance package, so the button to the left here turns your drive assist, steering assist on and off. So in your instrument cluster, if I hit it, that tells me the steering assist is now on. So that's the feature that when you set the cruise control, the vehicle then will and has capability of steering itself for up to 16 seconds and keeping itself in the lane. This next button is your lane departure warning feature. If I hit that, it turns it off. I'm going to hit it again, it turns it back on. So that's going to monitor the lane that you're in and also monitor unintentional lane changes. If it deems that you are drifting basically and you touch the lane marker, it has cameras that pick up the lane marker and then will vibrate the steering wheel and also send braking power to an opposite wheel to help prevent you to go into the lane. This next button turns off your park assist feature. Okay, so as I hit it, it doesn't really do anything because I'm in park. However, that's the feature that monitors the sensors on the monitors objects within about 3 feet of the front bumper and the rear bumper. Okay. The next button, I don't believe your car has that, but there is an option for a 360 surround view camera. So I'll bypass that function. Behind the steering wheel, you have 3 stalks on the left. This top stalk is turn signals. It's also windshield wipers. The first 2 little settings there that have the dots represent 2 different rain sensing wiper settings. Also, if you push it away, that will engage the high beam assist. If you pull it towards you, it'll flash the high beams. With the high beams engaged, the vehicle then will monitor vehicles ahead of you at night and will dim out the high beams and turn them back on depending on oncoming traffic or traffic in front of you. The small middle stalk will adjust the steering column up and down, in and out, and then the bottom stalk operates the cruise control. To set the cruise, select down or up. You'll see a mileage per hour readout when you do that. To cancel, push away, and to pull towards you, you resume. Okay. To adjust the radar cruise operation, you rotate this knob, so that will adjust the distance between the radar cruise control where it will pick up a vehicle in front of you. So the furthest distance is 300 feet, the closest is 100 feet. So once you get within that distance, if you're going, as an example, 70 miles per hour, and the vehicle ahead of you is doing 60, it will slow you down to 60. If that same vehicle applies the brakes all the way to 0, it has the ability to apply the brakes to 0 as well. Okay? On the steering wheel, you'll see to the left, you have arrows, a home button, an OK button, a back button, and a voice off button. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those buttons right there will control everything you see in your instrument cluster. Okay? If I hit the home button, it takes you to a menu screen. And from there, I can go up and down to scroll through the main menus, depending on what I want to view. Okay? If, as an example, I want to view the trip, and I select OK, I then can use my up and down arrows to cycle through more sub-menus. Most of the menus do have sub-menus that apply. Okay? If I want to get out of that, I can either hit the home menu again, or I can hit the back button, and that will take me out. Okay? On the right side, you have Bluetooth operations. You have a mute button, voice control button here, volume control buttons. Okay? The voice control button operates telephone, audio, and phone functions. If I come back over here, the off button, if the lady is speaking, you can cancel her out by hitting that button. Okay? You'll also notice behind the wheel you have a minus paddle and a plus paddle. So if you do want to operate the vehicle in a sport mode and control the shift patterns of the gears, you can do so with the minus and the plus paddle shifts. Okay? Other items to the left here include your lights. They are set on auto unless you prefer to manually set them otherwise. And then you do have an electronic parking brake release. Whenever you start up a 2016 S550, you'll see right there that your electronic parking brake will engage. So if you put it into drive, you either can tap the accelerator to override that, or you can simply come down here, pull and release. Okay? Moving on, you have buttons in between the two LCD screens, as you see. Okay? The top button will lower the rear headrests in the back if somebody has raised them up. You also have a manual rear sunshade and dimmer operations for brightness. Okay? And then scrolling up, this is your primarily your interior light buttons. Okay? You have reading lights that show up underneath your rear view mirror. Then you have a front dome light, a rear dome light, and this operates the dome lights when you open the door. So if you want that off, you leave it in the off position. These three buttons are part of Mercedes Embrace function. So Embrace is our version of OnStar. The I button will contact concierge, the SOS emergency, and the wrench is for roadside assistance. These three buttons are part of a concierge package. There's a basic service called Embrace Connect that comes 5 years free. And there's also there's an alternative package that is either 3 months complimentary or 6 months complimentary, and after that you do pay an annual fee. Some of that is in internet-based options if you choose to operate and want to operate the web browsing capability on the command unit. Okay. All right, so the buttons that you see underneath the vents will include your climate control operations. Okay, so you have auto feature, you have a temperature adjustment. So as I hit that and go up and down, you can see on the screen there, it's going to tell you and display your temperature settings. That's my fan speeds, circulation, max defrost. I'll skip that for now, and I'll come back to it. But you have a rear defrost button here, your air conditioning button there, and then fan speed, temperature, and auto functions for the passenger. Okay. If you prefer, you can also control the climate control features and functions through the display unit. So if I hit this menu button, you'll see in your display unit, it will pull up a carousel of options that will allow you to adjust basically the same functions and features here that you used at your aluminum buttons, and you can do that same function through your display unit. Okay. The display unit is going to be controlled two ways. One is Mercedes kind of typical function with their what I call a joystick, but this operation has 7 functions. Okay, I can move the cursor up and down. I can move it left and right by motioning the joystick left or right. I can rotate clockwise or counter. So as you can see, I'm doing that. Okay, or I can push the joystick straight down by selecting, and that would select whatever submenu or menu I have highlighted. Okay. You also have what's called a touchpad. So that's what this feature is. This is more of like technology that you'll see with an iPhone or a touch smartphone. So I can take my finger on it and I can swipe up, I can swipe down, I can swipe left or right. And you'll notice as I swipe left or right and then up and down, it's cycling through the display unit just like my mouse or joystick did with those functions. I also can push down on it to select something, okay? And then you'll also notice next to or underneath the touchpad and then also to the left of the joystick is a back button. So if I'm kind of layered in this submenu, I can hit the back button, either one, and that will back me out of my menus back to whatever main screen I had it on, okay? All right, so other buttons include around the joystick and the touchpad. You'll notice I like to call this the umbrella of main menus, okay? So on the left side here, you have suspension and transmission adjustments. This button right here will raise and lower the suspension. You'll see a display. Once I hit it, you'll see a display that will eventually show up in your instrument cluster that will tell you if you're raising or lowering the vehicle. There it is, vehicle rising. And then you also have a sport and comfort mode for the suspension. You'll also see display information once you select the Airmatic Sport. And then you have a sport and an economy mode for the transmission. So if you look right there,